Hello and welcome to Poema Women's Success Coaching. This is Piper Harris. It's been a long time since I have created a podcast, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the why behind that and how you can embrace this for yourself. So, as with many of you, we are still in the midst of this pandemic and everything else that's happening around in our world, in our nation. There's just so much strife. There's so much, division going on. And with that, I took this opportunity to really reflect on what Poema Women's Success Coaching is and who I want to be as a professional in the field. So with that, some exciting news for myself. I have finally decided to dive in the deep end, meaning that years and years ago, I was called to the helping industry. A lot of you may know my story, maybe some of you don't, but years ago I was called to the helping industry, and I've been doing that as a counselor. I was a counselor in Washington State, a mental health counselor. I worked in nonprofit management, and that's parlayed into a lot of other different careers like fitness coaching, nutrition coaching, anything you name it, I did it, as well as being an entrepreneur and building my own business. So with that, though, there's always been this common thread of, hey, you need to go back to school, Piper. You said you're going to be a psychologist, so get on in there. So I have decided to pursue my graduate education. I'm going for my clinical mental health counseling, and I'll eventually be licensed as a professional counselor. So this is the first step towards hopefully a doctorate. I'm kind of trying to decide, is that going to be in counseling? Is that going to be in psychology? And who knows? I don't know where my life is going to take me. But with that, I've chosen to simplify. So I invite you to visit piperharris.net. So that's Poema Women's Success Coaching page, and just see the differences. So I've created an immense amount of curriculum and, workbooks and work pages, and worked with, hundreds of women in the country, and created this great curriculum. And I just kept putting everything on the website, and it was crazy because as I was going through the website, I was absolutely overwhelmed with how to manage it. And I thought, gosh, if I'm feeling this way, so are you. So I have completely redone piperharris.net. So I invite you to go check that out. Also, with simplification, with everything that's going on, like I said, in the world, we're overwhelmed, aren't we? And so I've really taken this season to say, okay, it's time for me to simplify. And I really, really challenge you to simplify your life as well. So how can you do that? Gosh, it's hard, isn't it? So with me, I've also just kind of pared down, my website, what I'm doing in my own life. Yes, I'm going in for my graduate degree, but I am also saying no to a lot of things. I'm also asking for help. I'm also allowing myself to rest and rejuvenate. So simplification doesn't mean that we're not doing anything and we become apathetic, but it means looking at those areas in our life that are feeling, confusing or just overwhelming or just full of things that are non-essential, and really paring those down. And so that's what I'm doing as well in my personal life, as well as my professional life. So with that, today, this is a really quick, podcast, little message, I guess you could say, to welcome you to Poema Women's Success Coaching and the simplification of life. So I want you to ask yourself, I want you to consider the different avenues of different kind of vectors of your life. Consider your personal life, what that looks like. So where you're living, how is your living space looking? Is it time to simplify? Is it time to clean up? I want you to think about your relationships in your life. Is it time to simplify? Are you saying yes to too many activities with friends? Or are you sitting at home and worried about how do I make friendships and relationships? How can you simplify your thought processes? I want you to think about your business life, your work life. Are you one of those people that take on every single project because that's where your worth is hinged? Maybe it's time to simplify. Give yourself the permission to pare things down, say no, and say yes to those things that really make your heart jump. I want you to think about your health, your physical health. What does your physical health look like? Is it time for you to get back at it. I know it was for me. Get off that couch and stop falling prey to the Corona 15. So how do you simplify that? Make it easier. You don't have to have this enormous workout plan. Make it simple. 20 minutes a day, move your body. If you need to eat better, make it simple. Choose a meat, choose a vegetable, and choose a healthy starch. Make it simple. I also want you to think about your mental health. How can you simplify your mental health? I know for me, personally and professionally, I am simplifying this because I am getting off of social media. You heard it right. I am done with social media. It has captured too much of my heart. It has allowed me to get more angry than I've ever thought, and it's not who I want to be. So consider your mental and emotional health. How is social media feeding that? Is it positive or negative? How is your mental health when it comes to all you do is read the news? What can you do to simplify your life? Maybe it's turning off notifications on your phone. Maybe it's erasing some of those apps off your phone. You only go to the computer for them. Maybe it's simply saying, I'm only going to watch the news for 15 minutes in the evening, and then I'm going to focus on my family or a book or self-care. So I want you to think about your emotional and mental health. How can you simplify those things? Remember, simplification doesn't mean it's easy. It just helps you to filter out the extra noise and really focus on you and the poema that you've been given. If you're new to this podcast, poema is a God-given purpose, and I believe you were given one. But you're never going to figure out what that purpose is and how to create that as a foundation in your life if you are just pulled in a million different directions. So again, consider every facet of your life. How can you simplify? How can you clear out the noise and truly focus on the things that matter in your life? How can you be the person this world needs? I know we need you. I know we need your heart, your compassion, and your courage. But you have to clear out the noise and simplify your life to make change, effect change. And I know you can. So thanks so much for joining me today on Poema Women's Success podcast. Remember, you can put your poema purpose into action, and I want to help you do it. So continue to listen in. I hope you're well, friends, and I'll talk to you very soon.
Thanks so much for joining us today on the Poema Women's Success Coaching Podcast. This is Piper Harris. I just wanted to say thank you so much. And if you're enjoying this podcast and staying in touch with us on everything about your poema, your God-given purpose, and how you'll put it into action, make sure you share this podcast with your friends, your family, and on your social media. It would mean the world to me. Thanks again. And remember, you have a God-given poema, and you can put it into action. Thanks so much.